Our relationship with God is one of freedom. The Spirit of God gives us the spirit of liberty. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Our relationship with God in the New Testament is different from the relationship people had with God in the Old Testament. The Old Testament relationship with God was based on human effort, people trying to really worship God, doing their best to be good before God. In the New Testament, it is the Spirit of God giving us the power to become children of God. It's not based on our effort any longer, but the strength, the power, the provision of the Holy Spirit. And because under the Old Testament, people wanted to please God by their own effort, there was always fear when they were approaching God. There was trepidation. There was a sense of awe of the presence of God that made people feel that maybe they were not right before God and God was going to strike them and do something terrible to them. But thank God for the Holy Spirit who now dwells within us. Our bodies are now His temple. And wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And so in the New Testament, our relationship with God is not based on fear and bondage, but of the freedom and the liberty that the Spirit of God, who now dwells in us, gives to us. So the passage tells us that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So if the Spirit of God is in us, what does that mean? It means that our relationship with God is now based on liberty and not on bondage. But what kind of liberty is that? Is that a liberty for us to just do whatever we want, for us to just live our own lives our own way? No. It's the liberty to now relate to God without fear, doing His will without fear, serving Him without fear, honoring Him without fear, so that whatever we do for God, we are not doing it because we are afraid He will punish us. We are doing it because we are now free to really love Him and show Him our appreciation. So once the Spirit of God comes to live inside us, our relationship with God is a relationship of liberty, not the spirit of bondage, not the spirit of fear. And so the Spirit of God gives us liberty in many ways. Liberty from the dominion of Satan. We are no longer under Satan's control. We are free from demonic bondage, and he has no power over us. He gives us liberty from the demands of the law. The law had so many demands. Do this, don't do that, kill this, don't kill that, eat this, don't eat that. But he gives us liberty to worship him freely and with all our hearts. He gives us liberty from our own limitations. Many times we are bound by our limitations. We look at what we can do and what we cannot do to control us. But when the Spirit of God comes to live inside of us, he gives us liberty from our own limitations. We are not bound by our limitations. And he gives us liberty to operate in the power of the Holy Spirit and liberty to serve God with joy and gladness. If truly Christ lives inside of you, if truly the Spirit of God lives inside of you, then your relationship with God is not of bondage, of fear, of trepidation. It's of joy, of gladness. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Experience that and share it with the rest of the world. I am Pastor Mensa Otabil. Shalom, peace, and life to you. We are about to enter a very important season on our church's calendar. It's our season of consecration, of prayer, and of fasting. We call it 40 Days of Power. It starts from the 25th of June and ends on the 3rd of August. We trust God that in these 40 days of power, the heavens will be open over our lives and we will enjoy heaven on earth. Join us and let's have a great spiritual moment.